Class of 2025. I have to admit, you guys taught me a lesson. I looked at the roster, I saw 15 players, and it's the smallest class that I can remember. And I remember talking to players that were on the team before. I remember talking to parents who have decided that they're not going to play football. And believe me, football's not easy. It's not probably as fun as some of the practices that you go through for basketball or lacrosse or some of those other sports. It's hard. It's hard, but I really believe, and I think you know this, that all this hard work that you go through makes you a better person. And even though we've coached you hard and you've accepted it, and the lesson that I learned is that you don't need a lot of guys, but you need guys that are dedicated, and that's what you've done. You've left a legacy here that I hope carries on for years to come, because what you've done, and not just wins and losses, but the way you treated the younger players. You've made team, and that's hard to do in today's world when everybody wants you to go to college to be a college football player, to go to, and it's more about what's in it for me. And you've epitomized what team can do, and that's special. It's special, especially as a coach. I hope you felt it, and I think you did. It was just great. It was just great. What a legacy you've left, and I thank you for your hard work and your dedication, because you've left a foundation that we can build on in the future. God bless you. Thank you. Zando Canaan, number 2, linebacker. Zando is a guy that you could definitely count on. He was there all the time for us. He's a guy that was probably one of the most unselfish players that I can remember. Always available to do whatever it took. He was probably one of our captains on the special teams, helped out wherever he could there. Certainly was a good player, made some great plays for us, and was a guy that always gave great effort. In the weight program after, in the off season, he did everything he could to improve himself, definitely got stronger. If I had to hire award a special team captain, it would probably be to Zando for all that he did. Great teammate, great kid to make sure that other people were involved, and just a guy that helped make our team. Zando was just awesome. Andrew Blackwell, number 63, all-time football player. A guy that has grown up in New Canaan and gone through the youth football, gone through high school, has been scored a touchdown against, I believe it was Central. I think he ran like 80 yards. It was unbelievable. And the great thing was not so much how excited he was, which he really was, but how the entire team went down and celebrated with him in the end zone. A memory and certainly a moment that will be on the highlight film, and a moment that I'll remember for a long, long time. I think our team will remember his motivational talks after practice every day, when he always asked, can I talk? And when he did, everybody listened, and how great of a teammate he has been, but how great his teammates have been to him. It's wonderful having Andrew around. He works so hard on the sideline between water and moving bags and doing all the things that he's done for us. We're going to miss Andrew next year. Bradley Butine, number 53, offensive guard, defensive tackle. Bradley could be one of the toughest kids, I think, that we've had here in a long, long time. He's a guy that shows up every day, works hard, and he gets coached hard. He makes some mistakes, and we have the opportunity to correct him at times. I make sure that every day I give him a hug before practice, so he knows that regardless of how hard we may come at him for sometimes his lapses, that we do love him. And because I don't think there's a tougher offensive lineman in the state. He's done a tremendous job for us. He's worked hard, comes to practice every single day, works hard to correct his mistakes, and I think he has a tremendous future at the collegiate level. So we're looking forward to what Bradley can do, and we wish him nothing but the best. Chrisquer, number 5, wide receiver. I'll be honest with you, I didn't know what to expect from Chris in the beginning of the year. He, we knew that he was athletic. We knew that, he's very quiet, so you weren't sure. But to see how far he came and to see some of the catches that he's made, some of the best catches I can remember, all the way through the year. I mean, and he just seemed to get better and better and better. Not only as a receiver, but as a blocker. He's a guy that doesn't say much, but just does his job all the time. I know he's not interested in playing college football, but seeing how far he's come, I wish he would, because he came so far. He's so athletic and does it in such a quiet and humble way. Just a tremendous teammate, tremendous kid. A guy that we're going to miss next season. Preston Harper, number 16, outside linebacker. There are certain guys that just have a really bad breaks, and certainly Preston is a guy that had one, where his senior season is taken away from him, which is really disappointing, not only for him but for the coaching staff. He was a guy that we were counting on, and then he gets injured and has his senior year taken away from him. Terrible as far as what our plans were for him, as a guy that was such a good athlete that we could almost put him on a lot of different places, and some of your better players you can do that with. But then to have a devastating injury like that, where your season is taken away, and yet come back and show up every single day and do whatever he could to help us out, whether it be filming, whether it be working with the younger kids. I can't say enough about how much we really value his being around and his being such a team guy to help out in just any way. So it's terrible. You hate to see anybody lose a season the way he did. But we're so thankful for all that he did for our team, and just a great teammate, great person. We're going to miss him. Hudson Kenny, number 25, running back. You talk about a downhill runner, a guy that is hard to bring down, and a guy that's good. You're guaranteed yards every time he carries the ball. He is able to read things. And if you notice in some of his highlights, some of the great moves that he's made while carrying the football. He doesn't say a lot. He's a quiet guy, but he wants the ball, and he never complains about anything. Very quiet, very good teammate, willing to help anybody at any time. And I believe that if he's not our leading rusher, he certainly is like one or two. But a guy that has just given his heart and soul to our football team, and a guy that you can always count on to give great effort. He's a guy that we're gonna miss next year for sure. But outstanding, really tough runner, and with good speed. So he's really helped us out of a lot of jams, and he does it when you need it the most. So we're gonna miss Hudson a lot. EJlais, number 13, defensive back, wide receiver. EJ has done some really tremendous things for us. He shows up on a daily basis. He's able to run patterns as well as anybody. When we run jet sweep or other things where he's had to handle the ball, he's done great. One of the things that he's gotten so much better at this year is being a blocker. You can always depend that when the ball gets thrown out there and he has to block, he's gonna get his man and he'll stay on it. EJ's interested in playing college football, and if he continues to work, he's certainly able to do that. His ability to diagnose what's going on and how things are, is able to be a really good teammate and a guy that you just you want to have on your team, because you know that he's always going to be there for you. He's always going to do things to help the team. He's not a selfish guy by any means, and he's willing to extend himself and help other players, which is really what makes a team, and has certainly helped us this year. Ryan Leahy, number 9, defensive back. Ryan, suffered an injury halfway through the year, dislocated shoulder. Thank God we had Dr. Brooks in the crowd to come down and help him out and put it back in. But it forced him to lose, I think, 3 or 4 games. But he was so anxious to get back and to do whatever he could to get back, especially for the Turkey Bowl and playoffs. He did his rehab. One of the better defensive backs, I believe, in our league for sure, and a guy that you can count on to cover, except maybe for the last out and up. But I'm sure that won't happen again. But he's a solid defensive back. He's a solid teammate that you can always count on. And certainly he was one of our anchors in the secondary, which I thought was one of the best in the state. It's so good to be, as a coach, to be able to count on guys back there, because they're going to be around the football all the time. So Ryan did a great job for us, great teammate, and certainly helped with our success this year. So we wish him all the well. Conor, number 21, defensive back. Probably one of the best corners in the state of Connecticut. He's a guy that you can count on as far as a cover guy. But one of the things that I think he is absolutely the best open field tackler in the state. There are times when I've watched him and I'm saying, uh-oh, he's going up against a great receiver, a great running back, and it's just him and the running back, and all of a sudden he comes up and he is one of the best open field tacklers I can remember. He's a guy that just has a knack for doing that, and he's a guy that you can count as a cover guy, and he's able to communicate. He's been a captain for us. He's done a tremendous job, and certainly was a big boost to our success this year. So it's a guy we're certainly going to miss, and a guy that I don't know how we're going to replace next year, but he's just a great teammate, great guy. We're going to miss him. Luke Robinson, number 12, quarterback. If you talk about a guy that has really come a long way, he seems to be getting better with every game. The thing that is really, as a coach, amazing is that he never gets too high, he never gets too low, no matter what the situation might be. No matter how bad he's playing or we're playing, no matter how good he or the team is playing, he's always very calm, very level-headed, and never seems to be bothered by pressure. I'll never forget in the state championship game, everybody's getting excited about losing at the time or winning at the time, and one of the newspaper guys called him Cool Hand Luke or Cool Larry, and that's exactly what he is. And he's a guy that has been a really good leader for us. He's a guy that really has studied the game and made some just unbelievable throws for us, and he's able to read things on the run. He's just been one of the better quarterbacks that we've had, and he just loves to go out and study film. He loves to figure out different ways to attack, and I think he's I don't know how you replace a guy like Luke Robinson. Michael Smith, number 7. Defensive back, running back, wide receiver, you name it, he plays it. Probably the best football player in the state of Connecticut. He has done so much, and just when you think that he may be getting tackled or he can't make an interception, or I know he leads our team in interceptions, he may lead the state in interceptions. Great leader, great teammate, never gets rattled, is always very calm, and a guy that is leaving a legacy for us, in our program that we hope that others will emulate, because he's just had a phenomenal year. I can't say enough about him, and he just never wants to come out. He wants to be in all the time, and those are the great players. They never want to come out, and he's done so much for us. I just don't know how you replace a guy like Michael Smith. Tucker Stevens, number 8, our kicker. Without a doubt, the best kicker in the state. He's made, I think, 7 field goals, 2 45-yarders. He's a guy that, you can really count on. He had a streak of 76 extra points in a row, which I think puts him first in New Canaan, and I think second in the state record books. But a guy shows up every single day, works hard at being a kicker, is able to kick the ball in the end zone on many occasions, and willing to punt if we needed a punter. Just a guy that we were so glad to have for his junior and senior year. But and again, just kept the legacy of kickers at New Canaan alive. He's going to have a really good college career. I'm so excited to follow him and see how he does it up at Butine. So, he's definitely a guy that is hard to replace. Tucker Stevens. Will Sullivan, number 4, outside linebacker. Will was injured, and I believe he missed his entire junior year. And we weren't even sure whether he was going to be able to come back with the injury. And he said, no, I'm coming, and a really good lacrosse player. And then all of a sudden, I'm ready to come back, And boy, did he come back, and did he leave a legacy that, especially in the Wilton game. But he's always around the football, and he does things that you don't expect, but all of a sudden he's making things happen. He's a guy that is really an intelligent player, and a guy that studies film and is able to, whether he's rushing the passer or he drops in pass coverage, he's able to pick things up very quickly. And I wish we had another year with him, because I think if he decides that he wants to play college football, I think he's going to be a very good one. Good athlete, good person, great teammate, and a guy that's going to be hard to replace. Simon Chakarov, number 15, was an outside linebacker for us, but he volunteered to go down and be a defensive tackle for us. Last year he was recognized as one of the better outside linebackers, but the way our personnel just fell this year, he voluntarily went down and became one of the best defensive linemen, I believe, in our league for sure, if not the state. His toughness, his aggressiveness, his leadership as far as our team has been concerned. He's turned out to be a great role model. I've seen such growth as a person. Simon has done so much behind the scenes that many of us will never know about, as far as helping our team be where it is today. He's a guy that you can count on. He's a great leader, great teammate, a great guy to have in the locker room to get things straightened out. He's a guy that you want your son, your young sons to emulate. He's done a great job for us. Trey Walker, number 3, defensive back. If you want to talk about consistency, I don't think Trey has ever missed a practice. I think he's done just about anything that we've asked him to do as far as the defensive back. When we have special packages, when we're putting in defensive backs for coverage, he's always right there. Not only that, but he's one of our better tacklers too. He's able to come up and not afraid to hit at all. One of our better hitters, and a guy that you can play on any special teams, and you can be relieved that he's going to do his job. You're not going to have to worry about him. He's very consistent, good player, good teammate, a guy that you want on your team for sure. So I know that if Trey decides that he wants to play in college, he'd certainly have a good shot as long as he keeps developing, gets in the weight room, and works at it. Because he's done a great thing for us. Brendan Wells, number 20, defensive back. If you were going to choose up teams, Brendan would probably be the first person that you'd take. The reason for that is that he's such a good teammate and such a good person as far as working in the off-season, working to make other people better, working to make himself better. Very unselfish, just a wonderful teammate. A guy that's helped us out on numerous occasions all year long. Never complained, always worked hard, dependable, very reliable, and a guy that you certainly want in your corner when things started to go bad. He's a guy that you could always count on. Tyler Celebrity. I always introduce Tyler as the assistant head coach because he's there every day. He tells us things we need to do. He protects me on the practice field so that nobody runs into me. or no football hits me. He's a guy that I'll never forget last year when he called a timeout and the officials looked to me and I said, who called that? And he said, well, one of your coaches. And it happened to be Tyler, who thought we needed a timeout. He's a guy that he's so loyal, and I introduce him to every opposing coach, every official, as my assistant head coach, which he has been. He's loyal. He loves New Canaan football, and he's a guy that we're gonna miss not having him around next year. He shows up every day. Hey, coach, what's going on? What are we gonna do today? Should we be out in the field? Should we do this? Should we do that? He's just he's been so much fun to have around. We're certainly gonna miss Tyler next year.